All right, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the Friday edition of TVC Breakfast. I am Veronica Dan Ikoy. Joining me this morning is Olamide Adeyemi. Olamide,
Good morning, Veronica.
good
It's
morning.
good to be here.
Thank God it's Friday,
Thank God it's Friday.
even though the work continues. Anyway, we have an array of issues we will be looking at this morning. Definitely, we'll be talking about the protests, especially the security dimension to it. Recall that the DSS has said that there are some persons who want to undermine, that protest and use it as a way of attacking or give it as a room to attack persons or people. And then we're also going to look at the matter of hepatitis that is known as a silent killer. How aware are Nigerians about this issue? And then we'll also be celebrating a prominent journalism scholar at 80. That's the person of Professor Olatunji Dari. These are some of the things we will be looking at this morning. But first, let's begin with this story. Emergency responders have pulled down the remains of the building that collapsed at Arowojobe Estate in Maryland area of Lagos to ground zero. 5 persons were confirmed dead as the building under construction collapsed at 3:40 a.m. on Thursday. Senior reporter Ayomide Ajegbe was there.
This is Wilson Mba Street in Arowojobe area of Maryland, where the building under construction collapsed overnight. An eyewitness whose building is next to the affected site says she was forced to wake up at midnight to discover the unfortunate incident.
Like around past 1 in the night, I heard the noise of a neighbor shouting lamp, 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 lamp. That was when I woke up. That what happened. So when I came outside, I saw that the building was already collapsed.
A critical look at her own building, it was obvious that it's already caving in, as findings from safety officials at the site of the building collapse proved that most of the houses in the area cannot stand the test of time. On this same street, some newly built houses are already being put up for sale, which raises more safety concerns. This woman insists that her building is not under any form of threat.
Not at all. It wasn't under threat because all the papers were completed there. Everything was done accordingly.
One of the laborers who was working on another site and came with some of those who were trapped in the unfortunate incident from Ibadan was very emotional when he realized that those he saw few hours ago might be dead.
About 6 of them, we came from the same street, the same area, each together, do most things together. So maybe they are dead like this. I don't even know the actual thing that is wrong with them like this.
None of the emergency responders spoke to the press, but we gathered that there is an assessment ongoing to determine what next.
Emergency responders are bringing the building down to ground zero. And I can tell you that even though a lot of people were trapped in this building, 5 persons were confirmed dead and 5 persons are receiving treatment in the hospital. What is more concerning though is the fact that there are some buildings in this area which might need to undergo integrity tests. Because of the situation at hand, a lot of people in this area are agitated. They don't know what is going to be their fate. Ayomide Ajegbe, TVC News, Lagos.
It's a really sad incident. There are 5 persons confirmed dead, and like our reporter said, 5 undergoing treatment, and we can only hope that they are recuperating as it is. Unfortunately, they only came there to work, and then what we saw happened. But this begs the question about the integrity of materials being used for the building. We have had experts come on this set to talk about how important it is to have a surveyor survey the land and to also test the integrity of the land and also know what is needed, for the building of a structure or for the erecting of a structure in such places that are perhaps waterlogged. We can see cracks on the walls of that building in that video just now. And like Ayomide said, some other buildings are looking like they need attention. The integrity of those buildings need to be checked. And this is where the matters of quackery in the real estate sector needs to be checked. Recall that some days ago we had an expert also speaking to this matter, how he said there are regulations, but that is yet to check the activities of those who are, carrying out these kinds of things, ensuring quackery in the system, and then threatening the lives of people.
And this incident also brings to the fore some of the conversations we have been having, like you mentioned about, the need to remove quackery from that sector. A lot of persons, most Nigerians, I will say, so to speak, have sort of sidelined the use of professionals, especially in the use of, building materials. It also brings to the fore the quality of building materials that we are using these days. I made an example on that episode of the show where we were talking about the quality of materials, the quality of cement, and how, very light it is. And we had, the expert mention that there are so many, professionals that should be involved when a building is meant to start. And
who monitors the activities of
monitors
those who
the
are
activities?
actually building to ensure that they are following the specifications needed. And then also is the fact that now we saw that one of the buildings is put up for sale. Recall that we talked about how persons can identify a distressed building if the building will collapse anytime. And, some things were mentioned here, cracks on the wall.
You mentioned cracks.
Yes, and then you bring in an expert to come and check the integrity of that building. And so it's important that on both sides, before some persons go and buy that building, and then in no time that building collapsed, they need to take, an expert there to look at that building, to understand the integrity, and then they can make payment because it's an investment. You pay huge amounts of money either for rent or to buy up a place, and then at the end of the day, you see incidents like this happening. It's a sad one.
Very important, like you said, for even individuals to do their self-diligence and not just in the scenario of when you are trying to, acquire a building or acquire a house, but also when you are renting. Another issue is this integrity test that most times they have to introduce, especially when a building is about to collapse. We understand that integrity testing in most cases does not usually occur only when a building is about to collapse. Once there are change of occupancy, where there is innovation and also restoration of a building, change of the design standard, especially when a particular building was probably a mini flat and then it's been extended to accommodate more persons, integrity tests should be taken at that time. And perhaps we should be looking into using other materials if our climate will accommodate that, such as the wood and wirings as in other climates.
Well, I doubt if our climate will accommodate that, but it's quite sad that we've been seeing a rise in the number of building collapse in the country and even Lagos State. So far, it has been reported that we have had at least 22 buildings collapse across Nigeria between January the 1st to July the 14th, and Lagos State has accounted for over a quarter of them. That report is from the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. And the concern is that it's important that we check this matter of substandard construction materials, the use of also what could contribute to building collapse is said to be that illegal change of the use of building. Perhaps what you put forward is that you want to build a certain number of perhaps two-story building, and then you go ahead and erect four-story, and then that also results in a building collapse. And then this matter of quackery that we have talked about, inadequate or lack of supervision and oversight. And that is where government comes in. Enforcement. What is the state doing to ensure enforcement? Even though I think there are reports where the state is saying that they are going to look into this matter to check what happened exactly. But then we do not have to wait for an incident to happen before we do due diligence as it is. But it's a really sad one, and we hope that we can get to be proactive with issues like this.